Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a special effect, and the special effect I'm going to make is snow, and to do that I need two programs, GIMP 2 and Nero Platinum 17. I'll leave a link in the description on this YouTube tutorial to where you can download these two programs. First thing I need to do is left click on GIMP 2 to open the program, and when it opens I'm going to come across to the top left hand side, left click on File, I'm coming down to where it says Open, I'm left clicking on Open, and I'm just going to choose to open a photograph, and this photograph will give me something to work on. So the first thing is to paint this photograph green, and to do that I'm going to use the colour choice. I've left clicked on that. I'm using a vivid green, which I'm clicking on OK, and then I'm going to select a brush by clicking on that symbol, and I need to scale a brush up, so I get on to where it says scale and pull it up. So I've got a big brush. I'm going to use a very hard brush, so it's a dense brush, so I can quickly change this picture into a green screen. Now I need to export that screen, so I'm going to click on File. I'm going to come down to where it says Export As, and I'm going to export this picture with a different name. I'm going to call it green, and it's in a JPEG format, and I'm just going to export that to my desktop where I have a folder, and the folder on my desktop is this one here. So I'll select that and click export, and then I choose to export it in the highest quality, and I click export, and the photo has gone into that storage system. So the next thing I need to do is use the rubber, and I select this eraser. Some people call it a rubber, some people call it an eraser, and I'm going to come over where I can right click, come down to where it says add an alpha channel and left click, and now if I use that eraser or rubber I can take out everything on this screen, and so I'm left with a clear image, because if I exported that it would be totally transparent. But I need to put some white onto this, so I need to come to where I can change the colour and left click. I'm going to choose a white colour, and I'm going to click OK, and I need to make the brush a smaller size, so I'm going to come down, and I know around about 35 is a good size, and I'm going to come across to the right hand side and choose a fuzzy type of brush, because snow is a fuzzy kind of thing. And then when I choose the brush and then click on the screen, I can get little white dots. Now the thing is not to move your mouse while you click, otherwise you get a streak. And I'm just going around the screen making lots of dots, all in random patterns, because the more random the pattern is, the more likely it is to look like snow. But I want random size snow as well, so I'm going to make the brush smaller to get a different size of dot or snowflake, and I just keep working away until I'm happy with what I've got. Obviously if you wanted it to be a heavy snowstorm you would give it more dots, and I'm changing the scale gradually so that I have snowflakes that look further away and snowflakes that look closer, and I'm just going to use the scale to make a few bigger ones. So let's see, a little bit bigger than that, a little bit bigger than that, when I think I have enough snow, oops, I went wrong there. I'm just going to rub that snowflake out, and then I will go back to my brush and put a few more snowflakes in. You just have to move the mouse slightly and you get a streak. Obviously it turns into a line rather than a little snowflake. And I think I'm happy with that now. And so what I need to do, a bit addictive, is to come up here where it says File. I'm going to export as, and I am going to export this as a PNG file, because a PNG file is a clear file. So I'm going to look for PNG, which is there, left click. I'm going to come up and rename this, and so I'm going to call it snow. I'm calling it 5, and I'm going to call it .png. It's important with a clear image like we're working with that you use a PNG file. And then I'm going to select where it's going to go on my desktop, and I click export. And I export it in the highest quality. I click on export, and there it goes. And if I now close out of this program, and now all of those files are in this storage folder, and to access them I'm going to use Nero Platinum 17. So I left click on the desktop icon, I left click on make video, I left click on make advanced movie, I come up to the top right hand side, left click on import, left click on import files. I then choose the files that I'm going to work with, and I then, holding down on control, I selected those files, I click on open, and they're imported. I'm going to hold down on control and unselect the green screen, and then I'm going to drag those 5 photos in. Because I've made 5 different versions, I can now move them so that instead of them being pictures, which at the moment they are, I'm going to turn them into videos. And to do that, I'm working on the first one on video timeline 1, and I'm going to come across to where it says effects palette. I'm coming up to where it says position. I'm clicking on the box where it says keyframes, and I'm going to get hold of the screen and push up. And doing that gives me a dot, and I'm going to move that dot, which is a keyframe, to the beginning of the video, and then I'm going to pull down totally off the screen. I get another dot, I move that to the end. Now if I play that video, instead of them being dots, it's suddenly snow, and we have a video rather than a picture. And so I need to carry on doing this. I need to come to where it says position again, click on the box. I need to get hold of the screen and push it up out of the way. I need to push the frame to the beginning of our video, drag the screen down, move the frame to the end, next picture. I need to choose use keyframes, push the image up, move the keyframe along, move the image down, move the keyframe along. And if I just scale it up, make sure I'm at the end, yes. Move along to the next picture, use position, keyframe, push up, out of the way, move the frame along, bring the image down, move the keyframe along, and finally I'm going to use position, use keyframe, push the image up, move the keyframe along, pull the image down, move the keyframe to the end. And so we've got a continual line of snow, but I want to overlap these. So the first thing I'm going to do is left click, hold and push this up onto video timeline 2. Then I'm going to left click, push up on the next one onto video timeline 3. And I'm going to let that play about 1 second after the first video starts to play, and I'm moving this next one to the 2 second point, and I'm moving the next one to the 3 second point, and I'm moving the last one to the 4 second point. And then I'm going to use the copy tool, which is a case of left clicking, then clicking on copy, moving the timeline to the end, right clicking and clicking paste. And I'll do that again at the end here and click paste. And then I'll do the same with this one. So I'm going to click copy, move the timeline to the end of the video, click paste, the end of the video, click paste, and I'm going to do the same with the video timeline 4. I'm going to do copy, because each one of these is a different image, otherwise a pattern would start to form, and I want the snow to look random rather than regular. And then the next one, so I'm going to do copy, I'm moving along, paste, move to the end, and I'm going to do paste, and finally we are doing video timeline 6, so it's copy, end of the video, paste, end of the video, and paste. Now if I played this on the bigger screen, you would see as I play that snow is raining down, and it's random, and it seems to get thicker and then it stops, because obviously that's after it's been snowing for 16 seconds. I've run out of video. I could carry on, make it as long as I wanted to, but it's just really just to give you a demonstration of how this technique works. Now it's a bit cumbersome having all this. I can use it though. I could go and import a file. I'll use a picture that I have here, and I'm going to bring this image into video timeline 1, and I'm going to make it the length of the video. It's only a still picture, and I'll scale it up so it fits, and I'm going to play, and you'll see that it appears to be snowing. And I'm going to stop that. And so that's quite a cumbersome thing to move around. So the easy way to work with it is to remove this picture from the track. I'm going to bring the green screen that we made in, and I'm going to drag that along. I'll make sure that it is the right length, and it's probably as well to mark where the video finishes by using the timeline, and that's the point there. And so I'm just going to drag the green screen back, and if I now export, I'm not going to save this project, and I set it up to export in a high quality, and I browse where I'm exporting it to. I'll give it a name. I'll call it green screen. And I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it onto the desktop, again in that new folder. I'm going to click Save, and I click to Export, and because it's in high quality, I will be able to use it with any material in Nero. And that's it completed. So I click OK, and what I now can do is import that video, and it's called green screen. I click to open, and I can then, when it's completed, I can click on the green screen and drop it onto a video timeline. And if I click to play, obviously you can see the snow, but I want to remove the green screen. See, now I only have one video timeline that I'm working with, and I can move it around wherever I want to. So if I went back to my pictures of, say, this young lady and a dog, and I move that along like that, and I then remove the green screen by using my effects palette, I come to where it tells me the keying. I click on chroma key, drop that onto the video, use this picker, choose the color I want to remove, and there you are. I can see through the green. If I select the screen I want to work with, so that I can fit the young lady and dog to the screen, and then if I play, I have snow falling. You can see the snow. And if I wanted to make it even more effective, I could import another image, and this image is here. I've cut out the lady and the dog, and I've used a PNG file. I've shown you in a previous tutorial how you can do that. I'm going to select that image. So if I bring the young lady in and drop her onto the timeline, and then scale her to fit, now what I have then is two images, one overlaid over the top of the other, and because I have removed the background using a PNG file with GIMP, what I can now do is bring a green screen in again. I click on chroma key, drop that onto the video, use this picker, and now we will have snow in front and behind the dog. And I've made a few deliberate mistakes, and if I play this video, you'll notice that the snow as it falls doesn't appear to be falling behind the lady and the dog. So why is that? Well, let's just stop this video and go back. The easiest way to explain this is to move this green screen one frame out of sync. But as you look here at my work, I've not extended this image, and it needs to be the length of the video. So let's put that first mistake right. Now, to show you my second deliberate mistake, I'll scale right up, and I'm going to get hold of this screen, left click and move it one frame along, and that should be one frame along. Let's just see that that actually has happened. No, it hasn't. I think it's moved one frame along now. It's moved a bit. It's been a little bit awkward. Let's just make sure, yes, that's the least that I appear to be able to move that frame. So let's go again to full screen, and I'm going to click and play. And what you'll notice as the snow starts to fall is there is a pattern appearing. And what that is, if I stop, these dots here are the snow, but they're out of line with each other. They're one frame behind. So if they were in line with each other, you wouldn't see them. It would appear to be snowing in front, and it'd be going down the back of that lady, but you wouldn't be able to see it because of the lady until it appeared at the bottom of her feet or on the ground. And so what I need to do is go back, and I'll undo that last move so that the green screen is in line, and I need to flip this top video, this green screen. And to do that, I come to adjust and left click, I click on flip and I drag that down, and when I let go of that image, now the snow is out of sync with each other. It's turned that image round. And if I then play in full screen, and I'm playing at a quality that isn't full quality, I find if I play in full quality I get a bit of a stutter, so it isn't as clear as it would be if I completely rendered this piece of material, because I'm using a slightly lower quality so that the video plays smooth. But I'll play the video now, and if you notice, snow is falling in the background as well as in the foreground. It's a bit difficult to see because I've chosen a very light background. If I'd have thought on, I would have had something darker in the background to make the snow stand out more, but hey, we live and learn. And there we go, that is the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.